Hi guys, welcome to another episode on Hostel Pods. I promised you guys I'll be talking about the California wildfire and what's going on with the wildfire that's covering like 3 states basically, and the loss of lives and property. But as I was preparing for that particular story, and then I stumbled upon this one that happened in California on Saturday evening, and I'm talking about the ambush attack on the police deputies in Compton, California. Why was that attack? I mean, why do we have that attack? Where is the guy? There's a manhunt now. There's a national manhunt for that particular person that did this heinous attack on the police people. And more importantly, what can we learn from this uprising of police slash civilian slash police attacks? More about that we're talking about right now. To be a quick one, I'm Hassan, and this is Has to Thoughts. All right, so let's start with this information. So two officers were shot, fatally shot. I mean, they were shot and badly wounded. I think now there's report that they are responding to treatment and they are going to come out of the surgery. And I'm really happy that these officers, the female and the male officers, survived it. The female officers are actually 31 years old, while the male is 24 years old. I'm happy that they are surviving it and they're going to survive. I hope that they will not sustain life-threatening injuries as a result of this particular callous attack on these people. But for me, when I read stories like this, I look at it from different angles. Honestly, I look at it from the perspective that what can we learn from this? I read that Vanessa Bryan is coming. Vanessa Bryan, that's the widow, Kobe Bryant's wife, is coming for the police chief in that area, whose name is Alex Villanueva, and I will talk about that later. And the police chief too is coming for LeBron James, which I'll talk about later. But for now, I just want us to start with the ambush attack on these police officers. Okay, now, so this happened on Saturday, right? On Saturday evening, around 7 p.m. There was an attack on these police officers, and the assailants, like I said, it was an ambush. He literally walked up to them as if he was walking past them and opened fire in close range without any provocation. The police chief called it a cowardly attack. Now, upon this, right, I was able to understand that just by reading that the people of California, really, they have been going through some back and forth with the police because there was a killing of a particular man that was on his bike last month, and there's been some Pasadena shooting and some other stories that are going on, making the rounds of police just using force and killing people. The news are not well corroborated yet, so I don't really have all the information. But there's this likelihood that it could be a reprisal attack, like tit for tat, something like that, and it may be unrelated. We don't know, so we have that going on. Now, the police department have offered $100,000 reward for anybody that has information that will lead to the arrest of this particular criminal. There was a very short clip of how this person just ambushed these people and went ahead and shoot them. And also, two people also offered to add another $75,000 to this particular amount of money. Now, the issue about this whole thing is that it's not that those are rich, so that is total of $175,000 that's the bounty on this guy's head right now. Whoever has the information is going to get $175,000. That's a lot of money. All right, so this happened on Saturday evening. Today, this is Tuesday, right? That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What has happened since that time? Now, this is the reason why when I make my podcast, when I talk about these issues, I always try to give us we should have a thinking of, is this our war to fight? Is this our battle? Because remember that we are yelling defund the police, we are yelling abolish the police, we are yelling all sort of things. And because of those things, the police involvement with the communities went down, and the crime in those communities went up exponentially. Who's hurting? The people of color, the people who are not rich, the poor people. because it's in our communities that we have most of these criminal things going on. So I said I'm for the reform. I'm not for the funding per se, but for reform, and I am also for, you know, a better involvement and engagement, a better involvement and engagement between the police and the communities. And I don't support over policing minority or poor neighborhoods. I think that's like a time bomb right there. I think you should police them adequately, and if need be, you should, on periods or spurts, you can have more officers in those neighborhoods. But that should not be heavy policing in the neighborhoods. I think that's just outright wrong, in my own opinion. But let me just go straight to what we have here. So now, the president has issued a statement, same as so also the presidential candidate of the Democratic Party, talking about Joe Biden, both saying things along this line. So I will give you their quotes now, and we're gonna walk from that moving forward. I want to make this one short, but I don't have to make it short because I have to break these things down to you guys in bits and pieces so we can have an understanding of what is going on. All right, so now before that quote that I'm going to tell you guys now, upon the after this guy has shot these people, however, the police have a general description of the shooter. They said this guy is about 28 to 32 years of age and is a black male. So we know 28 to 32 years of age is a black male. So we have a general description of this person, but we don't know what it looks like or anything of that nature. Now, when this happened, what really shocked me is that there were protesters, a group of people. They went to the hospital where these officers were being taken care of, and they were trying to barge into the hospital, and that's a no-no, because you don't go to the hospitals like you don't go to into churches or mosque. You know, those are places that they are reserved, you know, for, you know, from all this kind of protest, all these social gatherings and stuff. Now, those protesters were saying things like they wish those people died. So after this man has shot these officers, we have protesters, Californians, Americans, protesting at the entrance of a hospital, yelling all sort of disparaging words like they wish these people dies. And that is a very, very bad sign. That's a red flag. I said that is not enough. We have another set of caravan again with their blue and black balloons going to that area and showing their support for the police and all those things. Now, Reverend Al Sharpton has come to say that, okay, we are not for this. This is not what we stand for. We don't want anybody to attack the police. That the fact that we supported, and we rightfully so, we supported the protest against the death of George Floyd and that of so many people that have happened after that time, that they do not support people shooting at the police. But you see, 1 + 1 is 2. And when leaders are not careful about their rhetorics, are inciting violence and fanning the flame of destruction, things like this are bound to happen. And this is the reason why I say in one of my podcasts that President Trump always talks to his political base. I am not saying they're all racist, but a good chunk of them are. And now you're saying that I'm up for the police. Yes, you are up for the police, but when you're for the police and at the same time you are not really chastising them, it's like you are giving them a go ahead to do whatever they want to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, when I read Reverend Al Sharpton saying this, that, oh, we don't support them to attack the police, but you guys said that the protesters that when they were looting and vandalizing and hassling of properties, you guys called it peaceful protest, and you know that was not peaceful. So what do you expect? When you will not call a spade, you expect that people will say, okay, our craziness is for this section alone. We should not extend it to this other section. No, it does not work like that. You have the altar, talk about the Al Sharptons, the Democratic bodies, all the other groups. You have the platform to talk to people because you have their ears. Now, listen, guys, this is what we want to do. This is our line of action, and this is what we are about. We will not encourage any things that goes outside of what we stand for. But when you guys refuse to address those things, and now you are now distancing yourself when when 2 officers were shot and are right now still fighting to survive, fighting for their lives, you're not saying, you don't support that. But when they were attacking properties, looting stores, burning properties, beating people who have a contrary opinion to what they're doing, you did not denounce those things. That is the problem we have in America, where the left and the right people are saying things that basically is in line with their own ambitions. What about we, the Americans? That is the question. That is the problem. And remember, I said it one time like that I'm not a fan of when athletes or celebrities are aligning themselves with with a particular political party or politician, because the politicians are just using you, like, you play chess. They're just using you as a foot soldier, basically, to get whatever they want to get done. And that you have a very big platform, and when you start talking in a Democratic or in a Republican tone, you are sort of alienating those fans of yours that are on the other side. Your thing should be in the center. It should be truth and equality and justice. But when you start saying you should vote Democrat, you should vote Republican, it's not a very smart way to go about it. Now, what do I know? Because I'm nobody. Well, I guess I'm somebody. I'm an American. I'm a human being. I'm an individual, and I have opinions. I have ideas, and that's why I have this platform, my podcast and video I'm making right now, because I read this information and I can say the BS. Okay, so now let's go to the quote from President Trump, and then I'll give you the quote from Vice President Joe Biden. Sorry, excuse me. Now, Trump says, when we find that person, we got to get much faster with our courts, and we got to get much tougher with our sentencing. Because for sure, the person will be found. Trust me, you'll be found. Whoever did that person with his group, or they will all be found, and they'll be, they'll face the wrath of the law. But Trump is saying that when we find that person, we got to get tougher with our sentencing, and we got to get faster with the courts. To be a very quick one. Now, Biden says something. Says like this, absolutely unconscionable. Now, it says acts of lawlessness and violence directed against police officers are unacceptable, outrageous, and entirely counterproductive to the pursuit of greater peace and justice in America, as are the actions of those who cheer such attacks on. You see, so you have the Democratic candidates and the Republican candidates denouncing these things. They will not say that they are part of the problem. But when this thing hits the fan, it's going to be like, who's going to bear the brunt? Who's going to be responsible? They will not identify that they are part of the problem that we are facing as a nation by their inflammatory rhetorics. And that's what I'm always telling my listeners to always be mindful of, that you cannot use that energy to say, oh, they killed a black man, which is right, which I'm all for. That's why I'm not really a big fan of Joe Biden, because of his I don't understand it. His antecedents up until this moment is not really encouraging, if you ask me. Neither is Trump, anyway. Now, you cannot say we denounce the killing of a black man and we support protest, and you not say that you have to find a way to find a kind of engagement between the people and the police, because in my opinion, I believe that the politicians are using the police as and the people of color or race as like tools they can play with to get people excited or angry about issues, and as a result go and vote for them. Basically, that's my own understanding of this thing. Now, the police chief, whose name I mentioned earlier is Alex Villanueva, he said something here. He said, acts of, it says that this is just a somber reminder that this is a dangerous job. And actions and words have consequences. Do you hear that? Actions and words have consequences. Is that word right there is directly aimed at the political elites. Our job does not get any easier because people do not like law enforcement. It pisses me off, it dismays me at the same time. There's no pretty way to say this. And to this point, right, I just want to read to us, like I said earlier, that there's been, this back and forth with the people. So from what I read, I'm just going to read it from what I read to you guys. It says that protesters have been rallied. Protesters have rallied against the LA Sheriff's Department for weeks over recent shooting by deputies, including the killing of a man on a bicycle last month. So there has been protests by the people of California to the LA Sheriff's Department because there have been some killing that they were like, this is uncalled for. So, but I think that there was no known connection between the recent shootings and Saturday's ambush, and investigators are chasing all leads. That's what the police chief, that's Alex Villanueva, said. Now, and this same man, like I said, he challenged LeBron James. That basically what he said is that LeBron James is always quick to, lend his voice on social issues, which is good, which he supports. And he's saying that now there's an issue that is affecting the police now, that he expects LeBron James to double the money. That's because right now, so I told you that I told you guys that there's like $175,000 bounty on the guy's head, and now we're saying that LeBron should double the money. Double the money for LeBron, which should not be a problem. But the point he's trying to make is that you are quick to point fingers at the police when there's anything going on in the community, saying that the police are not doing their job, or that the people are not being well policed and stuff like that. When police happen to be killing or be using force excessively. Now, if that is the case, this is a case where our officer has been shot and was ambushed and shot. So what will you say about this? Because I'm here to say LeBron or anybody in the basketball world or any celebrity really talk about this issue other than President Trump and Joe Biden and maybe Adam Schiff. So that's that issue right there. That is why I say that as an athlete, as a celebrity, don't be spending your celebrity capital or social status, something like that, cheaply for politicians or all these political parties, because they will not say that you are just an athlete. They will be holding you accountable for leading the people. Whereas you are just an athlete, you have no political power, really. But they will not say that because you are also an easy prey for these politicians and all these people to point fingers at you. That is what I'm saying. Athletes should not be doing this. You are too smart for that. Don't let any politician or political party sway you for their own benefit. You must be able to be smart enough and ask the bigger question, the real big question. And on that note, I know I saw Vanessa Bryant, like I said earlier, that Vanessa Bryant came out saying some things. So it's very important for athletes to ask questions like, how would my community benefit from what you want me to do? Or just be very wise with your approach. And Vanessa Bryant was actually called out the LA chief, that's Alex Valenzuela. I keep missing his name. She called him out, saying that Alex Villanueva, like saying that he's asking for LeBron to be forthright with the police, but he had failed in terms of exposing or revealing the graphic images of her husband and her daughter when they had the helicopter crash, because there were some pictures that circulated and saying that, listen, you should not be putting LeBron James' foot to the fire, whereas you failed in protecting those graphic images of those kids and the families that were burnt in that helicopter crash that killed our beloved Kobe Bryant. So she had the right to vent, and I like that she said those things. But I believe in us with the very quote that she said, which I found very, very interesting. She said that not all deputies are bad people. Sorry, not all deputies are bad apples. Prayers for the 2 deputies that were shot. And that's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I just like to reiterate that point, that not all deputies, not police officers, not all of them are bad apples. And those who suffer injuries in the line of duty, we pray that it's not be a fatal one, and they can recover from it sharply and quickly. And more importantly is that the people that have the big microphones in their mouth, they should use that platform to unite this nation rather than dividing us and making us to go farther apart. We should not be doing that. We are better than that as Americans. And that's a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, love, share, subscribe. This is a quick one. Let me know what you think, and bye for now. Thanks again for listening.